Okay, so here I am in my next battle. And yet again I've started in a nice open space. So I really don't know what's going on with this today, but the luck seems to be shining on me. So here I've got my Dow. Now because this is a bigger ship, he needs more hits to max him, and he can do a lot more damage to me. Now the sloops I've been fighting can max me in 6 hits. This ship, if you look it up on the wiki, just by typing in ships, will max you in 4 hits rather than 6. And you need 7.5 to max him. So here I'm going with the same general approach. You want to shoot him as he turns into me, rather than going for broadside. So here I'm just going to go left and hope he turns into me. For some reason the bot's gone back to carp, so I'm just going to pop him back on sails unless I actually get any damage. Now, I have 2 choices here. I can either expect him to do the loop around manoeuvre, which I explained, and go forward, right, forward. But he doesn't have the moves for that, and the other reason is, if I go forward, right, forward, I'm trapped against these rocks. So one thing I'm really emphasising in this guide is, think about where you're going and stick to the open space. So now that I've had my attempt at shooting him, the next thing is to get a good setup spot, which I've got here. I've got a nice opportunity to shoot him here. And because he doesn't have many moves, I can just turn left and try and shoot him off. So I'm going to put my left in and just put in 4 guns and hope he stays still as long as possible. There we go, I'm just going to type in, I've got my 4-0 score here, just so that I remember it. Remember, in this battle we've got to aim for 7.5 rather than 6 that we've done before. And the same number applies to cutters as well, but they can't max you as easily. And again, this dial isn't really moving, so I'm just going to put my shots in. And I hope the bot gives me another gun. There you go. Always watch for the gun at the last moment. I've got 7 hits now, so I'm going to say 7 now. Again, if I go double left, he's potentially going to go forward. So because I'm in front of him, I'm just going to go left double forwards and grapple him from the sides. Obviously, the much better way is hopefully grappling him from the back, but I don't have that luxury here, so. Remember, I've still got to put 0.5 of damage on, but for various reasons I'm going to just go left forward here. This is to do with the way that the bots try and grapple you, which I will cover later on. I can see I've got my damages starting to creep up a tiny bit, but it's not affecting me yet. So I'm going to go forward and shoot, and it will probably grapple me. If not, I'll just get him on the next turn. He just put 1 hit into me. So I've just got 7-1 is my max 1 is my score. And if you've seen the sword fight here, you'll see the difference in the damage taken because it's a Dow that fires mediums. Here you go, look, you've got 1.5 lines, basically meaning that a small cannonball will do 1 line of damage, a medium will do 1.5, and a large cannonball will do 2 lines. So you want to take this into account depending on the type of ship you're fighting. So on a sloop, you'll be fighting things like sloops, cutters. When you start to move up, you'll be fighting things like dhows like this, and longships. Now, longships are pretty much the high-end spawn for a sloop, unless you really want to be adventurous and go for bagglass. Now, as you spawn these harder spawns, you want to put more and more emphasis on conservative navving. So, in the first case, I could afford to go to max 2, max 3, max 4. In this case, with the dhow, my aim is a lot smaller. So I can only afford, say, a max 2, max 3. A max 3 would give me up to about here or so in damage, whereas max 4 would completely max me out. So I'm going to put a lot more emphasis on shooting him as he comes towards me and avoid exchanging hits. So if I was at max 1, I would take a lot more time and make sure I could grab